what other changes happen around the body. We all know about weight gain, but there are other changes that happen, even emotional changes, even mental changes that happen. And we're going to talk on that a little bit tonight. So just kind of getting everybody on, give a few more minutes before we kind of get started. And just kind of getting the room all ready and set up. So if you are just joining, again, my name is Dr. Michael Fitch, and you're here with us, taking time out of your Sunday. As always, 7:30 at night, we are always coming together here to talk about weight loss, health. We are the best place for you to come and find your weight loss solutions. We have semaglutide, we have your tirzepatide, we have your thyroid management and modification. We have all your great appetite suppressants that may be needed. And we even got your metabolism boosters, as we mentioned. We already mentioned thyroid, but B12, some of those other things that you probably have heard about. But we can put together a cocktail specifically for you that meets all of your day-by-day needs and urgencies so that you get the best outcome, not just a leaner body, but also feeling great about life. So again, I'm Dr. Michael Fitch, board certified family medicine physician. And tonight we're going to be talking about weight and weight loss and weight gain. You can't talk about weight loss without understanding how did I gain the weight and what things occurred as I was gaining the weight. You know what was occurring. You were living life, however you want to kind of call that, whether you were eating, whether you were skipping meals, and you were just out there living life to the best. But tonight we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how your body is this great piece of engineering that can adjust to any situations, but there's consequences to the changes that may occur. And I just want to make sure that you know all of those things that are going to occur for your benefit and not for your benefit. You made the choice. It's your body. You made the choice in which direction you want to kind of go in. So with that being said, we are moving forward in tonight's talk. And again, guys, the room is open. So you got a button right down below. You can share the link. You can send it to anyone. Again, no real reason for you to have to ever go back home and try to recreate this talk to your friends and things of that nature. So just go ahead and send the invite. It's a great thing. And, we're going to be doing this every Sunday. We'll have different topics, but we're going to still be kind of talking about overall health and wellness and just kind of getting everybody up and started. So send an invite, send it from your phone, send it from your email, however you got it. Send it to them, tell them open up, join on in. Now, I want to remind you guys, we are getting into the summer. Weight loss is key, right? So this is the end of May. You got all of June. You got all of July in order to rock that August beach body. If you ask me, August is the best time to go to the beach. It's not too hot. It's a little overcast, right? Perfect, So best time for us to go ahead and get started with some weight loss, rock that to the fullest. And come August is another good time for weddings and anniversaries. We have our family anniversary reunion around that time. So step in there being like, oh my gosh, look how great you look. And to begin the next school year, some people are going back to school in August. Some people just need it. We've all kind of got that start. August is that time. I get my new clothes shopping around August. What's that, President's sale or something like that? But I don't know. I ain't that big of a shopper, but I do love fitting into some nice clothes. And I know you guys do as well. So let's talk about some weight loss. Like I said, tonight, we're going to be also talking about weight gain. What's kind of coming as a consequence of weight gain? What happens? We all know what happens externally. Externally, I get fat. But there are some things that are happening internally, right? There are aspects that are changing around with your heart, with your other organs, but also mentally. There's some addictions, there's some commitments that your brain commits to when it starts to gain too much weight. And we have to reprogram that. That is programming. And we shouldn't this no slight thing to shake a stick at. It is serious. A lot of people who have weight issues also have secondary mental concerns as well. Maybe they also have addictions, gambling addictions, gambling commitments. Maybe they live a certain type of lifestyle. We have a lot of people who are overweight, but they're not big eaters. They only eat once or twice a day. But if you also kind of see that with that type of weight gain, they also have commitments to their work and to their lifestyle. So they don't even think about food, right? They don't think about what is the consequence of not eating through the day, even though they see the pounds come on. And so we're going to kind of be talking about that tonight. And again, just getting a couple more people in, got a couple people here on Facebook that are joining as well. So send the invite on out and have everybody come on in. And we'll be here 7:34. We're going to start on time. We're going to end on time, right? I got other things to do come 8:31. No, I'm just teasing. But if we got some questions that linger after that, don't mind, continue to raise your hands. If you got questions during this, raise your hand, send a message. I'll get to you. Okay. So let's talk about it. My name is Dr. Michael Fitch, board certified family medicine physician from North Carolina, right? Home of iced tea and barbecue. So I've had my fair share of some health scares growing up in my life. Diabetes was a big concern in our family. I can remember being 10 years old. I walked in the house. My grandmother was on the floor convulsing. She was having like a diabetic spell, right? She had gone too long. She had done her insulin. She had gone too long without eating. Her blood sugar dropped. And when your blood sugar drops too low, you basically black out, right? You got to have sugar. You got to have gas in the tank in order for this vehicle to continue to run or stay alive. So ran in, freaked me out, scared me, didn't know what to do. Fortunately, I had seen my mother, take care of my grandmother one time before, feeding her some orange juice, feeding her some sugar. And, I was able to do a little something as a 10-year-old, put a piece of candy in her mouth, give her a little bit of juice. But it began my commitment to not ever wanting to put my child or my grandchild in that same situation, right? I didn't know what it was. I just know I didn't want to be in that situation on the other side. Growing up, I realized it was diabetes. Check. I don't want to have diabetes. Okay. How do you get diabetes? Well, you get overweight. Oh, that's a concern. I live in North Carolina. So check. We got to worry about that as well. And then as I became a doctor, that was my biggest way to figure out how to survive better in this world, knowing my family genetics. I learned a lot more things, and a lot of things I'm excited to talk to you guys about tonight. Now, many of you guys may already be in our program. You already may know me because we're probably shipping Ozempic, or we call it semaglutide, directly to your door. Or we're sending tirzepatide, or the brand name Mounjaro, directly to your door, helping tons of you guys to reach your ideal weight in a short period of time, in a significant amount of way, right? For a great price, I should say, right? Because Ozempic and Mounjaro are what? If you don't have diabetes, $1,500 at the store, if you can find it, right? I was just talking to a family member of mine this past weekend, for all the high school graduates, congratulations, class of 2024. But a cousin of mine is on the medication and cannot find that medication at any of the pharmacies that she generally goes to in her community. So even though you may have the diagnosis, the prior authorization, can you get the medication? I know we can. We have great compound pharmacies. And if you watch South Park here recently, You probably heard them talk about compound pharmacies. If you don't know what compound pharmacies are, they are FDA regulated and controlled labs, just like your big companies like Eli Lilly, but they're making medication that's not specifically tagged. So the way you kind of think about this, if you've ever gone to the drugstore, you see Tylenol, but then you see Walmart's brand of Tylenol. It's a generic form, right? So these big companies took one of these elemental elements, put their little tag on it, and called it theirs, called it Ozempic, called it Mounjaro. But we still can get that semaglutide, that tirzepatide, directly from our compound pharmacies. Compound pharmacies, also unlike your retail pharmacies, don't stick a lot of preservatives in it. So they're going to make your batch and they're going to send it directly to your house. And like I said, we have not had any problems with logistics and getting it delivered to your home within 1 to 2 weeks. So if you're interested and you're not already in our program, just send me a direct message. I've got somebody here that's monitoring that. And if you are in the program, thank you so much. Let the rest of the group know how wonderful it is. If you don't mind sharing, if you do, don't worry about it. I love anonymity here. But let's talk about it from the standpoint of how did I get overweight? There's only one way, and I know everybody has their belief how I gained weight, but there's only one medical reason directly. Now, there are other indirect causes, but one direct way that you get overweight, your insulin level goes up. Insulin is a major hormone. And if you don't know what hormones are, growth hormone, thyroid hormone, hormones tell your body to go. They tell your body to do this thing, grow. If you don't have growth hormone, you're going to be short, right? You got a lot of growth hormone, you're going to be super tall. But here, this hormone called insulin tells the sugar that's in your bloodstream to get out of the bloodstream, either to go into the cell as life or to be stored away as fat. So in that sense, insulin only goes up when your blood sugar level goes up. If your blood sugar level goes up more over time, insulin will also come up to match it. Because what we know is that sugar by itself is dangerous to the body. It is toxic. So we always have to have insulin buffered to it. And the way I think about this is like going to the gas station. Gas in my car is healthy. Gas being sprayed all around on the concrete is not. So I need my insulin to put it where it needs to be, either into my car to give it life or into my storage tanks. So as your insulin level goes up, it stays up. It doesn't just go up one day and come down another day and go up another day and come down another day. It averages itself. It averages itself over 3 to 5 days to say how much does this person eat in sugar over a course of period of time. And then it always secretes out that average amount of insulin. The more weight you have, my friends, the higher your insulin levels are. Easy to tell. You can go talk to your doctor's office. It's not a test they normally test for unless you ask. But you can ask, what are my insulin levels? And they can let you know they're within a normal range or they're above. And so you and I probably have above normal levels of insulin if we're dealing with weight issues. But the insulin level only went up because your blood sugar level stayed high for 3 days or more, right? So now we understand I'm eating a lot of food. Everybody who eats a lot of food knows that this turns into becoming more overweight, right? I'm from North Carolina. I've eaten 3 Thanksgivings consecutively for days on end. Like I go to this house, eat Thanksgiving, and this house, right? We overeat. We have so much abundance in America nowadays. It's so easy to just get some fast food, pop that, drive with one hand, eat with the other, right? It's so convenient. And so the calories just come in. All that fuel, all that gasoline comes in, and it makes our blood sugar levels go up and it makes our insulin levels go up. The funny thing is, if you don't eat, once your insulin levels get up and your blood sugar starts to drop, what happens? You get the cravings to go eat. And a lot of us, we don't realize this. We call it, oh, I got a sweet tooth. Oh, I just like to, I crave at nighttime, right? And what we're really saying is my blood sugar has dropped so low that it's time for me to refuel myself back up with the quickest thing I know how to do. Your body is not so caring. Is it the healthiest thing? You know, what type of gas am I using? 87, 89, 93? Like when you're desperate, you don't care. Right? So when that happens, your body's going to grab for the thing that it knows gives it sugar the fastest. A cookie, a piece of fruit, a bowl of rice. I know these things turn into sugar quickly in my blood system. My brain knows that, and it has convinced me that I really, really like that food too. So I have this chocolate craving. Do you, or do you realize that chocolate rescues you very, very fast, right? With that being said, we realize that the higher our insulin levels are, the more the ability for us to drop in blood sugar and have more and more cravings. If we brought our insulin levels down, the fall from grace would not be so steep, and so the cravings wouldn't be so strong. Many of you have probably gone on a diet once in your life, right? And those first 3 days were ridiculously hard. That's when the insulin level was really high. After a few days, you got used to skipping meals, eating smaller portions, drinking a glass of water before you have a meal, and the insulin level was coming down. Now, the problem is, before long, you rebound it back up. And that's a normal fail-safe for the body, normal fail-safe. So many of you who dieted before and who tried and failed, you really shouldn't beat yourself up, or you really shouldn't feel bad about it, because your body is designed to maintain weight or gain weight, but it's not designed to lose weight. Losing weight for you and I is the equivalent of death, right? We're sick, we're dying. And that's why I'm losing fat and I'm losing, some kind of crisis is going on. And so if you haven't seen a friend in a very long time and they've lost a lot of weight, the first thing in the back of your head is, I wonder if they're sick, right? You don't even ask, oh my gosh, have you been working out? Like, you ask that question, but you know what you're really thinking. I wonder, are they sick? And when they say no, just been exercising, thank gosh, right? So what happens again, the higher the insulin levels, the stronger the cravings. But a lot of times we don't just turn cravings into foods, right? Sometimes we use stress, we use addictions, we use gambling or other bad habits to give us temporary fail-safes, right? We temporarily were thinking about getting out of this disaster, and we were going to use food for it. But you know what? I'll smoke a cigarette instead. I was going through this crisis and I was thinking about using food for it, but I'll drink this coffee instead. We were going through this crisis and it was close to lunchtime and I was about to go get lunch, but I wanted to close out this last project instead because I'm on a roll, right? And so it's so easy for us to exchange food for other addictions depending on how high the insulin levels are. Now, what have you done? You just skipped the meal, right? You use some other issue other than food to satisfy that hunger that you were going through. Well, isn't that good, Dr. Fitch? I mean, yeah, I lost a bit of money gambling, but I didn't eat that taco. So I'm going to lose some weight as well as lose some money, or I got that project done. So not only did I get the project done, I'm going to get promoted. I should lose 5 pounds because I skipped the meal. Only to turn around, have the promotion, and you got another 20 pounds around your midsection, right? How many times has that happened? It's happened to me, right? Especially in residency, pushing myself. I finished residency, 20 more pounds overweight. And that happens to me and you, but why? When you're not eating, remember, your blood sugar level has still gotten used to being this high. Now, when your blood sugar level goes down, if you decide not to eat, and instead you decide to use your body's natural adrenaline, your body will make its own sugar. Well, that's great because I just stored too much sugar away earlier. So I'm going to skip this meal and I'll pull some of that sugar back in and I'll use it for life. And doesn't work that way.